Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the June webinar for the New Growth Women's Business Center. I'm pleased to announce that our speaker who's going to be presenting is Miss Lisa Jones. She is the new Director of Rural Partnerships for Northwest Access Fund in Washington State. She formerly was a coworker of all of ours, and we were really excited for her growth. And we're glad she has come back to share one last bit of information with you all. And I'm going to turn it over to Lisa now. Thanks again, Lisa.
All right, thanks, Lakin. Today we're going to talk about credit. Ooh, exciting, right? Actually, it can be. What I want to share with you today, if you get nothing else from this webinar, I want you to understand that credit is something within your control. A lot of times people see credit as something that happens to them as a result of different life experiences and how the credit card companies choose to score you. But today we're going to talk about the kind of the rules of that scoring and how you can make a difference. Credit is an asset for you. What I mean by this is a good credit rating can save you about $250,000 in interest and fees through a lifetime. Now, you may be saying, I'm not going to buy a house, so I don't need a good credit score. But credit is actually, it affects a lot of different things. This is an example of a car loan. If you have good credit, you can see that your payment would be around $189 a month, and the total interest paid over 5 years would be just a little bit over $1,300. Whereas if you have a low credit score and you go to like a buy here, pay here place, because they will finance you when a bank won't, you're looking at a monthly payment that is $100 more a month. So that's money out of your pocket. And the total interest is about $5,000 more than you would pay with a lower score. Your credit score also affects the amount you pay for car insurance. It affects sometimes now who you can get a job with. Also affects your cell phone deposit, different things. The other thing it does is that having a good credit score where you can borrow money from a bank or a mainstream financial institution, you're not exposed to the predatory and payday lending type programs that literally suck you in and you're stuck in this payment cycle that you can't get out of. It also creates, as I mentioned, the opportunity for you to build long-term assets such as owning your own home, having your own business, and getting higher education. One of the biggest things that happens in our small towns, we need every single business that we can get. It's important to us for our livelihood. You may have a great business idea, but if you have a poor credit score, it's going to be really hard to get that business off the ground. All right. So what do we do first? First, you need to know what your credit score is. The site that I have listed here, annualcreditreport.com, is a free site. There are others that are not free. They might even have free in their name and a catchy jingle, but there are back-end costs that they don't tell you about that they can charge you for months and months on those. So know your score and see your report at least once a year. Some of you may use products like Credit Karma, and Credit Karma is not a bad thing. It will tell you, if you have new activity on your card, so if someone's like trying to steal your identity or put something on your card that's not on your credit, that's not you. But you need to be aware that when you go to borrow money from a bank, they do not use the same formula. Credit Karma does not use a FICO score. Nope, go back. Does not use a FICO score. So your credit may be different when you get to the bank than what Credit Karma is reporting. Once you look at that credit report, you'll be able to see first what is on there and what's yours and what's not. And we'll talk about disputing things that aren't yours in a little bit. But you also need to kind of create a credit action plan, and they can help you with that at New Growth, and set some goals. So if you want to own a home, probably not something that you could just say, oh, I want to own a home today, and 30 days later it happens. So setting some goals on those type of things, those bigger asset development, and then just setting goals on what you want your credit to look like going forward. Also look at your personal budget. It does not cost money to fix your credit, make your credit better. Something that can be done. A lot of people think you have to pay off all of your old debt in order to bring your credit score up. We're going to debunk that today. And then just kind of establishing a timeline on how soon you want those goals to happen. Okay. So what makes your credit score what it is? In 20 years of lending, I've heard lots of reasons why people think their credit score is what it is. People will say, oh, I've had too many inquiries on my credit score. I got a divorce 15 years ago, and that's still affecting my credit. I will tell you today that those things are not things that bring your score down significantly. Anything over 7 years is probably not still affecting your score. And as far as inquiries, like say I'm shopping for a new car, I may shop at several different car dealerships trying to find the one I want. They may all pull my credit to look at financing and determined rates. And those, the maximum amount that those bundled inquiries can cost you is about 15 points on your credit report. And it does recover very quickly. So the things that really affect your credit report are your payment history. You'll see that's 35%. Making those payments on time is very, 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 very important. That can make or break. Certain types of payments like mortgage and others can drop your credit score as much as 100 points over one payment. Next is the balance of limit to ratio, or balance to limit ratio. So this talks about if I have revolving credit or some installment loans. And revolving is a payment that changes every month depending on what I owe, like a credit card. An installment loan would be like a mortgage payment or a car payment where I have a set amount and I'm paying down from a big balance. And in the revolving, my balance could fluctuate up and down. So what we're looking at in balance is how much available credit do I have and how much am I using? If you're using more than 30% on your revolving, say you have a credit card and it has $1,000 limit and your balance is 800, you're using 80% of your available credit, and that hurts your score. It also makes lenders look at your credit report. If they notice that several new accounts have opened up and you have high balance to limit ratio, they're worried that you may not be able to handle all of those payments. So that's a red flag to lenders. Length of history is important as well. 15% of your score is made on that. Credit bureaus like long-term relationships, not one-night stands. This is why the payday lending loans do not affect your credit in a positive way. Let me explain that a little further. If you go to a payday lending place, you may see in big letters on their door or on their window, their advertisement, we report to credit bureaus, and they do, but they report negatively. Their loan is only a 30-day loan, typically in a payday. So you're borrowing for 30 days. They take your check, hold it until then cash your check. And at that point, you may have to re-up a new loan if you're not able to pay in full. So this is a series of 30-day loans, but they're all separate. So you have no real payment history there. You only make one payment. So that does not help your credit report at all. You need on your cards and on your installment accounts, about 6 months is the minimum that will really help your score. 3 or 4 payments is good, but when you hit that 6-month mark, you will see a pretty significant increase in your score based on that. Mixed credit also is like having the different revolving and installment accounts. And then new credit is 10% as well. The other items on here are affecting your score in like a good way, right? If you have good payment history, that helps. If you have low balance to limit, that helps. New credit will actually drop your score a little bit because it does change your balance. Excuse me, I have something in my eye. So when you make a new purchase, realize that that's going to drop your score for a little bit, but then it will recover fairly quick. Excuse me, just a moment. Can't read my slides. Okay. All right, next slide, Lincoln. So even more important than paying off bad debt is getting good stuff going. The things that I just talked about, on-time payments and having that lower balance on your cards, those things all affect your score in a positive way more than collections affect your score in a negative way. A negative collections account going on your credit bureau report is kind of like an asteroid. It hits that report, it shakes everything up, and it drops your score significantly. If you leave that collection debt on there for a while, and it slowly over time, it just kind of, it doesn't do an extensive amount of damage anymore, right? So if you're making on-time payments, that will actually help your score more than paying off the debt of the old cards. Now, I don't want to tell you not to pay off debt that you owe, but realize that when you enter into a payment plan with a collection debt, you are allowing that to be a new negative hit on your credit every single month. So I would advise you when looking at paying off old collection debt to look at potentially some settlement or a different way, which we'll talk about here in just a little bit. Another thing that can really help your credit is what's called a credit building loan and a secured credit card. This is a product that New Growth offers, or you can talk to a local bank to see about getting a secured credit card. A secured credit card is going to be different than a prepaid card because instead of taking $300 and you buy the prepaid Visa at Walmart and you spend down your $300, Visa does not report that to the credit bureau. However, if you go through Academy or a bank that has a secured credit card, you give them $300. It's sitting in a savings account, building a small amount of interest, and you use it like a regular credit card. We would recommend that you charge something like, I used to say a tank of gas, but that might not be under a third of your balance now. So, maybe your cable bill or your phone bill, you pay that each month with your credit card and then pay off the credit card. So you're not exceeding 30% of your limit. However, you are using that card and keeping it active. This can take someone who has no credit score at all, maybe they're unscored, and it can move you up into the 600 credit scores typically in 4 to 6 months. So it's a really quick, easy way to help your credit. With the credit building loan, you're fine. With the credit building loan itself, if you have no credit, then that credit building loan, you can talk with Lakin or Michelle or some other staff at New Growth, but that can create as many as 3 active lines of credit for you from one $500 loan. And that's a very quick and easy way to build really good credit in a short amount of time. Okay, so we talked a little bit about seeing your report. if something's on there that's not yours or it's not right, maybe it's been on there too long, it's a negative and they're just not taking it off, you can dispute that. New Growth has dispute letters that they can help you create to get that sent in. And you can also go online. And if you do that, you have to go to all 3 credit bureaus to make sure you've got it off all of them. You send a letter, they've got about 30 days to respond and send you an update on your credit report. Another thing you may see, and this is a common inaccuracy, is like if you had a debt and it had been settled for a lesser amount, but they sell the additional amount to another company. A lot of these collection companies trade around or trade around debt, and so sometimes that will allow duplicates to creep onto your credit report. So paying attention to that's important. Also, never pay anyone to fix your credit report. There are a lot of companies that are credit repair, and I would tell you that those are dirty words in our vocabulary, because you can do anything that those companies can do on your own for free. And again, New Growth would be happy to assist you with that. When you do send the dispute letter, if you have proof, receipts, letters, emails, send those with it. And then this is very important, only dispute inaccurate items on your credit. As a lender, when I look at a credit report and I see that every single negative item has been disputed on the credit report, my mind tells me that the odds of every single item that's bad not belonging to that person is very rare. So that tells me this is someone that's trying to get out of debt that they actually owe. And that does not speak positively to your character or help you get loans in the future. So this is a way that some of the credit repair places actually hurt you in the future in trying to get a loan. I do want to mention too, in March, there was new legislation passed. All 3 credit bureaus are now going to take medical collection debt that has been paid off of your credit report. There was 70% of the medical debt information of all consumers' credit reports are being stripped. So this will help credit scores go up, and it will also help you not have those medical debts that we know sometimes get on there affecting your score. So, okay, so I have some old debt and I can't claim that it's not mine, it is mine. So what's the best way to get rid of that debt? And let me tell you that if you're starting a small business, cleaning up your old collection is not as important. If you're thinking of buying a home, a mortgage lender is going to want you to have all collection paid off. So what I would recommend is, again, never make a payment on a charged off debt. That is going to just keep reopening that sore, scratch off the scab, and the bleeding will start again every month. Your credit will take a hit. The best way is to collect up a lump sum. Maybe you've gotten your tax refund, and then negotiate with creditors. Most will settle at 50% or less. If you call them and say, I realize it's a $400 bill, I got $200 back in my taxes, that's all I have, will you settle for that? This next step is really important as well. Make sure you get that settlement agreement in writing, because some collection agencies will take your $200 and then say, oh, we will still need your other $200. So make sure any settlement agreement you have, you get a copy of in writing. This way you're paying less to pay off your debts. I would also tell you that if you have debt that's been on your credit report, you know, if you're between 6 and 7 years, you may want to look at just writing that out, because it will fall off your report. But remember, anytime you make contact with those collection agencies, you're restarting your time clock. So, if they're calling you and looking to do any type of settlement, every time you answer your phone with them, you're actually restarting your time clock. So that's an important thing, not to contact them until you are ready to make a settlement. Okay, and again, how do we make it good? Get 3 lines of active credit going, okay? And try and have a blend there. So maybe you have, you know, an installment payment, and then you have a couple credit cards, but having those 3 lines, pay on time, super important. Again, no more than 30% of your credit limit balance, and then do not close your cards. Even if an account, you're not really using it anymore, I would not close that account. You can put that card back and you know, or you know, put it away for safekeeping. But as you close accounts, and I also know some folks that used to, every time there would be a credit card offer, like an intro offer of 0%, they would transfer the balance over, open the new card, and close the old card. And they couldn't understand why their credit wasn't getting any better. It's because most of their credit card accounts were a 2 or 3 month time frame, and they were closing them out and transferring balances, and just were not building those long-term accounts that the credit bureaus like to see. I want to talk just for a minute about student loan debt as well. During COVID, there was action by the federal government to freeze those student loans and put them in a deferred status. If you have student loans on your credit report, you may have seen a decrease in your score. The reason why is that time is passing and the balance is not going down on those accounts, which is having an, you know, they're not reporting you making a payment. So it's basically like a dead account on your report. And a good portion of people have a lot of student debt. So it plays against their debt to income ratio, and is really making it challenging. There's a lot of legislation being passed around now about changes to student loan debt. Hopefully we see some of that come to fruition quickly. That will affect the way that it shows on your credit report. All right, so that was a pretty quick and easy how to move your credit report. Are there any questions? Is there anything that you have a question about that we haven't covered, or you'd like more information on?
And it looks like we do still have some people on here. You can put your questions in the chat if you have any, and we'll address them in order. I do want to note that this recording will be available on the New Growth Mo website. It's newgrowthmo.org. We also have a Facebook page where you can stay up to date, and I encourage all of you to like our Facebook page. We post probably the most updates on there. You can always check our website for upcoming events, but it's way easier to find them on our Facebook page. And also the slides will be on the website. And we have a question.
Okay, so the question was, if they wanted to do a secured credit card or a credit building loan, who would they contact, and how would they access that information? So you can contact anyone at New Growth or contact them at their website. They can help you. They can help you navigate that entire process. Typically, that looks like a $500 loan. I think those are at, like, and are they at 1%? It's between 1% and 4% interest, so they're very low, which I think I think the total interest for a whole year is like $30 or something. It's really huge. And then just going on to newgrowthmo.org, or you can give them a call or contact them through Facebook, and they can walk you through that process. And it does build your credit very quickly. The secured credit card, you put the $300 deposit on there, and then when you are done using the card, and that can be in 6 months, a year, you can keep it, longer. But once you're done with it, that money comes back to you. So yeah, it's a great way.
Do you want me to read that one?
You want to read them? Otherwise, you guys get to see my face really up close because I don't have my glasses on to read those.
This one's from Danielle, and she said, I'm building personal credit. Is this the best way to build business credit as well? Should I get a secured credit card for my business as well? I just opened my first personal credit card. Should I also open up another secured credit cards? Any recommendations on specifics?
Yes. So let's talk for a minute about business credit. It's great you have one account. I would get the second. I would talk to someone at New Growth about a second. Or you can talk to your bank as well. But those two lines will move a lot quicker. On the business credit, a banker doesn't look at your business credit unless you have good personal credit. So starting a business, a lot of people think they have a magic do-over. And what happens is the banker realizes that the person paying the electric bill at your business is probably the same person that did not pay the electric bill that's negatively affecting your personal credit. So build your personal credit. Then after you have been in business for a while, things like your, if you have an account with Lowe's or Staples or those things, you can put those in a business name, and that would be the best way to develop those. Please, please, please never pay Duns and Bradstreet. I know that you have to register for a Duns number for some federal programs, but do not pay Duns and Bradstreet to give you good business credit, because again, lenders are smart. They know that you've paid for that. They can see that Duns and Bradstreet has made the hit, and that's what's affected it. And it does not have any value, and it will typically cost you somewhere between $1,500 and $2,500. So do not make that investment. Yeah.
Okay. And Clarissa said, do you have anyone to pull up someone's credit and advise them, or advise the best way to help them? Like, what should they pay first, or things of that nature? And I can answer that one. In the chat, I have posted our website, I've posted our phone number, and I've posted the email address, which comes directly to the WBC. You are more than welcome to utilize any of those to get into contact with us. Email is probably the easiest. I can send over paperwork to get you started. We can pull a credit report because we have a credit release we'll send over. And then we can work one-on-one from there with you. So yes, contact us if you are needing help and would like advice. We can pull a credit report and look it over with you.
And how much does that cost, Lakin?
It's free.
And it's a soft pull, so it won't be shown as an inquiry on your credit. And it will give you a score. That is the same as what the bank looks at. Typically, New Growth is pulling a TransUnion or an Experian report, so it's good for you.
Can you please repost contact info? I might have put it right to the panelists. That's my bad. Lisa can see it, but you all cannot. Oh, reposting now.
Do you have any other questions there, Lakin?
I don't see any. If anyone has any, now is your chance to talk to the expert. Lucky for you all, she did pass along a little info to us.
They are experts too. I have left you in trusted hands here. Yeah. And I would put in a plug too, like, in what's your next event and when is that? How can we be a part of it?
Our next webinar is July 28th. You put me on the spot because it's not on the website yet. We have a guest speaker from the SBA, and she's going to be doing Ascent training again.
Oh, great.
I don't have a lot of info because I want to get the specifics from her, but I hope to have that up on the website by early next week.
I will put in a plug for the SBA Ascent program as well. That it's an online resource and you can do it in 15-minute increments. So if you're a new business owner or an existing business owner, you don't have to take a big chunk of your day, but you can take a 15-minute break and work through maybe marketing or hiring or any of those things. So, and that's another free resource from the SBA. So that should be a really good webinar.
I want to add, I see some new names on here, and I just want to add a little blurb about what we do here at the Women's Business Center. We do technical assistance. We can help you. Maybe you need a logo built. Maybe you're not sure how to get an LLC. Maybe you need business licensing and don't even know where to go, or you have an idea for a business and aren't sure how to make that into a business. Give us a call. We are here to help. We will hold your hand. We will work on the big things that are scaring you right now. And like I said, it's myself, and we have Tiffany Frost as the director, and we just hired on a new business counselor. So you'll see new faces. We are very, very excited for what we can do for you guys.
And how much does that cost?
It's free. I'm going to keep saying that. Danielle said, are nationally accredited banks better to get secured credit cards / checking accounts compared to a local branch? Good
No,
question.
you can use either. I would check and see. Honestly, you can build the same credit with $100 secured card as you can $1,000 secured card. So I would recommend, like, we typically use Academy Bank. And the reason we chose them, they are typically located in Walmarts. You can deposit money in your account through a Walmart cashier, and you can draw money out at your local Walmarts as well. So we figured that for our market, that was pretty accessible. But Academy Bank does a $300 secured card with no underwriting requirements. You need $300 and a Pulse, and you can get a secured credit card there. The Pulse is important. So,
any other questions? These are good. Thank you guys for being so interactive. Like I said, just don't forget to like our Facebook page. I'm going to push that all day.
thanks everyone for allowing me to talk with you today. If you have any further questions, reach out to Lakin. You can reach out to me as well if you're in Washington or Oregon, and happy to help you.
Thank you, Lisa, for coming back. This was very informational.
All right. Have a good day, everyone.
Bye, everyone.